Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another
one.
Why? Episode of Smoke Sessions. We have the infamous master of misinformation, Muhsin Yesilada. That's a good one.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah, ha ha ha.
The misinformation maestro, Muhsin Yesilada.
Hi.
And I still haven't come up from a name for myself, so we'll just stick to V. How are you doing?
Are you well?
I am very well.
Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a full-on week. So what have we got to catch up on?
Viraj, we need to talk about something very important.
Is it very dear to your heart?
Yeah. When are we taking you to...
I don't give a shit.
When are we taking you to Turkey, Viraj?
Why are we taking me to Turkey?
To get you a new hairline. Would you do that?
Would I get a new hairline?
Yeah. Would
Listen,
you go to Turkey?
No. I genuinely think I'm too far gone.
Really?
I am so far gone. Let's be perfectly honest.
I don't think you are. I've
Dude,
seen
I
worse.
have devil's horns. There is no hair. There is no stubble. It's just oil.
Don't they get it from other places, though?
Aye, what other places there?
I don't know, your bumhole. I don't know.
It's like when people take fat from their thighs and put it in their butt.
Yes.
Right? Is that a thing?
Yeah, they do that. Fat from where, though?
Their thighs.
And put it where?
In their bum.
No, not from their thighs. I think they get it because they want the fat in their thighs.
So where do they take it? Their calves?
I don't know where they get it from.
Their arms?
I don't know.
Nah.
I don't know.
I've contemplated it. I think before I do anything with my hair, I would 100% do my eyes.
Your eyes?
I have glasses. I
Oh,
wear
right. I
glasses.
thought you meant
People
get
just
like a-
seem to forget.
I thought you meant you'd get a different eye colour. What the hell?
If I could, I would.
Really?
100%.
Why?
Zero risk involved? Absolutely.
What colour would you go for?
Blue.
Don't, because it'll be too distracting.
Blue or hazel or no, like a turquoisey green, or I'd have one color, one eye one color, the other eye another color.
It'll be too distracting.
100%.
It'll ruin your conversations with people.
It'd be an entry to a
Because
conversation.
they won't be able to concentrate. They'll be like, what are we talking about? Because his eyes just don't make any sense.
Yep.
And you don't completely lose track of
You
the
get
conversation.
South Asian people like that.
Really?
They're
it's rare,
rare.
though.
Oh, it's rare.
If you
They're
have
one of them. Jay Shetty's one of them. He's got these like blue eyes and he's got brown skin, and you're like, whoa.
if you have multicolored eyes, just sign your modeling contract.
Facts.
Doesn't matter what the rest of you looks like.
Facts.
Doesn't matter.
No.
You're about to make lots of money
100%.
off a birth defect, technically speaking.
Is it a birth defect?
Or it's like I don't know. I'm assuming because it's rare.
What's your birth defect?
I have a massive kneecap.
What? Of all the things to come up with, you come up with a massive kneecap.
I've got kneecap hugeinitis.
Okay, is this to add to your Oscar Slatis and whatever else?
Yes.
And misinformation.
I actually have massive thighs.
Is that your?
Yeah, I've got big thighs. The hips don't lie.
Yeah, mate. Hips
If I was a girl, if I was a woman and I walked down the street, everyone would check out my bum. Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
Do you think that women look at the pelvic area and when guys are wearing grey good joggers?
I think they do because they talk about it a lot.
Why? What is it about grey?
I don't know, because I think it's quite revealing.
Well, then white would be even more revealing.
Yeah, but grey is more common. You don't see people as often walking around with white joggers.
I think it's some social construct, man.
Yeah.
Forget all this lot.
You know, I was thinking the other day, Wait, what was I thinking the other day?
You were thinking something.
Oh my god, it's completely left my brain.
Are you sure you're not suffering from something? I think you're sleep deprived. Too much curb high
No,
for you.
tell me exactly what we were just talking about.
Thighs.
Backtrack. Thighs.
Kneecaps. Hips don't lie. Women looking at people at men's dicks.
Yeah, keep going. Keep saying stuff.
Hairlines.
Yeah, keep going.
That's it.
Oh my god, what was it?
Was this off camera or on camera?
I was thinking the other day.
Well, thank you for coming.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I realised the other day that when I shave my legs, I have my mother's knees.
You shave your legs?
I've shaved my legs and I realised that I have my mother's kneecaps.
Where was the segue? What are you trying to get at here?
I don't know. So basically,
Trying to cuss your mum?
one time I shaved my legs because I thought they'd look good in my boxing shorts because of like athletes and how great their legs look, right?
Yeah.
And then I realised as soon as I shaved them, which took ages by the way, I realised the reason their legs look good is because they're extremely muscular.
Yours are.
Whereas mine are definitely not, and I realised I have my mother's knees.
Do you shave your chest?
No, I
don't?
I don't really get much there
Have
anyway.
you ever waxed your chest?
No.
I have waxed. I wax my chest.
Do you have a hairy chest?
Ah, yes.
Do
I
you?
have a hairy
Do you have a hairy back?
I don't, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think that comes later in life. You know when people get old and they start getting hair on their earlobes? That's hilarious.
I have hair on my earlobes.
Do you?
I have hair growing out my earlobes. I have to maintain
look?
it. No, because I've got to take the headphones off.
Is that why you wear the headphones? Because you're
Yeah,
self-conscious?
absolutely.
Hashtag ear shame Viraj. Yes.
Is that a thing, ear shaming?
Yeah. Right, let's get to the news, right? So, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, right? Kim threw a birthday party for their daughter Chicago.
Yep.
And then Kanye went out on his Instagram Live, I believe, or his TikTok Live, and he was very upset because he wasn't invited to the party. What are your thoughts on that? Is that wrong?
Okay, take it at face value. You're looking at gossip. However, if you actually break down the situation at hand, you are basically saying that a father can't see his daughter, but there is no restraining order.
Yeah.
Are they divorced officially?
In the process.
In the process of getting divorced?
Yeah.
If I was in that position, I think I'd be amicable and let my partner come and see our daughter. It's
Yeah.
our daughter at that point, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
I feel for Kanye because it's like it's seeing his own kin, but at the same time, you can understand someone's position with all the crazy stuff he seems to do, and how that might be taken out of context as him being, having some sort of mental illness or mental health problems. And it's a tough situation to be in. For a friend to text you the location of where the party is. Oh man, that sucks. It's like being in one of those positions where you're not invited to a party.
Come if you want.
Come if you. But you're the girl's dad.
A little sidetrack. If you say to someone, come if you want, just slap them in the face. They're not your friend. They don't want you there. Come if you want translates to please stay home.
You know what I hate, right? And it's on topic. When you're the last person invited to a party, like day before.
Oh yeah, you should come.
All your mates have been invited.
Yeah.
And you're like the last person to receive the message, and you're like, yeah, I know I wasn't one of you. You're just doing this because someone's mentioned it to you.
You're the afterthought in that situation.
Yeah, that has happened to me.
Oh, has it?
Yes.
Has it happened recently, Viraj?
Yes.
Were you upset?
I was a little bit like, okay, I see how it is.
To be honest, whenever you do anything that I'm not invited to, I always send you an abusive message or call you the next day.
Facts.
Yeah.
I go to a cousin's house. I go to some friends' houses that are outside of our immediate circle.
You're not allowed family.
And apparently I'm not, you see.
No, you're not. Right, I'm your family. That's it. This is it. Me, you, and our child. Our son.
So
Boy.
if you and him had a party, you'd invite me.
Yes, absolutely. You know, people...
This is the exact same situation that Kanye is in, except I wasn't invited.
So in the Kim and Kanye situation, about him not getting invited to the daughter's birthday party, people in the comments were saying, well, they're going for a divorce. It's perfectly normal for people to have two parties. He should get over it. It's like, I can imagine it is normal, and I know it's normal. Doesn't mean it's right.
No,
I'm
it
sure-
doesn't mean it's right at all.
I'm sure the child would rather have both its parents at both of the parties. Have two parties and they both turn up.
What are you saying to your kid in a scenario like that? That's what I want to know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that. Is how do you explain why daddy's not coming to the party?
Yeah, it's hard. And also, like, as far as we know, it's a mostly amicable divorce where, like, abuse and stuff wasn't involved.
Well, that's just from what we know, yeah?
Yeah. Now, if your baby father is an abusive man, obviously you're not going to have him anywhere near you or your child. But we don't believe that's the case with Kanye.
We don't know.
No, he doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. Anyway, he seems like a pretty devoted father.
Do you know Kanye?
I know him quite well, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Been on a couple tours with him?
He's performing at the next 1 Minute Smoke, January 27th.
Oh, no,
Yeah, he's
you've got him.
performing. I said he can only do one song, though, because we're tight on time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
It's a little bigger audience than he's used to as well, so he's a little bit nervous.
From sleeping and selling out Super Bowls or Super Bowl stadiums.
But yeah, so he bought a house. Kanye bought a house
£4.5 million house
opposite
Yep.
the house that he's got with his family. And even people are saying that's controlling and abusive. Why? Because he wants to be in his kids' lives.
I do find that weird.
Why? He wants to be close to his kids. I don't see why that's weird.
Isn't he 30 minutes down the road? Sure, if you've got the money to buy a £4.5 million house across from where your kids stay, I get it. I do get it. And it's not your primary residence. However, if it is done in spite, just to be like, I'm still here, I find that a bit odd.
But I don't think it is.
But it's being portrayed as that.
Yeah, that's how people see it. But if the goal is to make the transition from nuclear family to two households as easy for the kids as possible, isn't that the most ideal scenario? I do love the memes of people making of Kanye with binoculars saying Kanye waiting for Pete Davidson to pull up at the house. That's hilarious. By the way, Pete Davidson. Do you know what, right? I don't know what girls see in him in terms of appearance. He seems like a fairly good-looking guy. But his track record for pulling attractive women is truly astonishing. There's something about him that girls like. And ladies, what is it about Pete Davidson? Please tell us. What is it about him that seems to attract some of the most eligible bachelorettes on the planet?
I don't know. I have heard from interviews that he is really open about his feelings.
Right. He's a comedian.
Which I get after spending time with you, how you are comedic about your feelings. And he's very emotional and they are attracted to that.
Maybe. And he is a good looking guy.
I don't doubt that.
In a weird way.
Well, no, I think everyone can become good looking. I guess he's looked at as good looking even more because he's a celebrity. I don't get the fascination though.
Here's one I don't get at all. Ladies, what is the attraction to Machine Gun Kelly?
Well, I found Machine Gun Kelly's a bit of me, mate.
Really?
Machine Gun Kelly's alright.
What?
Machine Gun Kelly.
I don't get it. He looks like he needs a shower.
Nah, Machine Gun Kelly, right? Do you know what the attractiveness to Machine Gun Kelly is?
What?
He is the last remaining rock star.
Is he a rock star?
Yep.
Isn't his music like subpar?
I don't think so. I think Machine Gun Kelly's music is actually really good.
Didn't he get butchered by Eminem?
Quite possibly.
He did.
But that is public opinion.
How are you trying to send for Eminem? What a terrible... When you're Machine Gun Kelly.
That is not a good idea. Let's be perfectly honest.
You are not in the band, mate.
Eminem is in a different echelon.
You are not in the... Machine Gun Kelly will go down as the guy who's dating Megan Fox, right? He's a celebrity.
No, not dating. Like, get the facts straight.
Oh, they're engaged. Right. Whatever they are, right? Whatever they're doing to each other, right? Eminem is an animal. He's a beast.
Was an animal.
Still is.
I'm sure he can still hold his own.
He is going down as Eminem for me is the greatest rapper of all time.
Top 3.
I don't see an argument for who, in terms of, if you look at different types of skills that rappers need, right?
Eminem is one of the best freestylers ever to walk the face of this earth.
In terms of flow, in terms of lyrical ability, in terms of his creativeness, in terms of the emotiveness of his music, he scores highly in all of those categories.
And I agree with you. I do agree with you.
And he's one of the few rappers who transcended different generations.
Yes.
And there's not many of those who have been relevant over 3 different decades. Jay-Z's one.
Jay-Z's one, yeah.
Eminem is one.
Kanye, you could say.
Kanye wasn't in the 90s.
Kanye was in the 90s.
No, he wasn't. Kanye wasn't making music in the 90s. He may have been, but he wasn't on the large, grand scale. I'm talking about
possibly
on top.
Yeah, Jay-Z and Eminem.
Yeah.
Are there any female artists?
You know, Willow Smith has had hits in 2 different decades.
Yes.
And she's that young, or maybe even 3 different decades, actually. Because
I whip my hair back and forth.
that came in 2009,
Something like that.
and then she probably had something in the tens.
I don't think she did.
She probably did.
I think the next big one was.
Got a vibe.
TikTok
Yeah,
music is actually wild.
very catchy, very catchy. How do we go from Willow Smith to Eminem so quickly? Jesus.
We can segue into anything and everything.
Yes.
You know, watch me do this. Who else whips their hair back and forth at parties?
I don't know.
Boris Johnson
Oh, he does. Yes.
does. Come on, I'm confused. What the hell is going on in Downing Street? You know me, I don't watch the news. I get my local news source from Muhsin Yesilada's misinformation channel, which is a thing that will soon be coming to our metaverse. Wagwan. Well, he had a party and everyone's getting angry.
Boris Johnson had loads of parties during lockdowns. Naughty boy. What's he doing?
Did he, or is it allegedly?
No. It's basically written. They have photos. They have
I heard there's an inquiry.
they have
into
drones.
Downing Street.
Yeah, they have drones that have taken images of it. Of them all chilling in the garden, and it says, "Oh, it was a work event." There's booze on the table. There's people just chilling on the grass.
Yes, but if a private company was able to was to do that in the middle of a pandemic and said it was a work event and got away with it, why can't Downing Street?
Because they're not the people who are trying to lead by example.
I'm just
Viraj.
playing devil's advocate.
In
okay?
terms of the moral standpoint they took, telling us all to make all these sacrifices. And they were back. Apparently, the new news is, so a tradition at Downing Street was on Friday to have a wine evening, right?
Okay.
Yeah. They didn't stop
What do you mean?
during the lockdowns.
They kept having the wine evening.
Yep, they kept having their wine evenings. They had a Christmas party. They had a leaving do. They had what looked like that they were saying was a meeting, but it's just a bunch of guys in casual clothing. Boris's missus was there. I don't know, how often do you bring
Which
your...
misses?
Well, there you go. Now, people say, oh, but, you know, it might have been a meeting. I don't bring my missus to work meetings. Never have done.
Okay, here's my thoughts. Part of me is past the point of caring.
Yeah.
Because it's getting to the point of just being, you know, like, I'm not sure if the word is colour reporting, but it's just like gossip. Another part of me is I have lost complete faith in the British government and the actions they are taking for British citizens. Why should I have to listen to their rules and regulations?
Exactly. And that's a massive problem.
But what are we going to do about it? We're going to march on Downing Street? Are there going to be protests? What's going to happen? We're going to have a public inquiry, which is what we do in the UK.
Yeah.
And the outcome of that will be what? I don't even know if a prime minister has ever been forced out of office because of a public inquiry.
So here's what's happening, right? So a woman called Sue Gray is leading the internal investigation of these parties, and she's going to submit a report that we can all read, right? However,
is she external to Downing Street?
No, she's not. She's the head she's like the head of internal affairs or security, something like that.
Okay.
So Sue Gray is going to do an investigation into these parties, and then we will get to read the report, and then actions can be taken on the report. But guess who gets to decide the consequences? The government, the people she's investigating. Boris gets to pick his punishment.
Is that really how it works?
Yep, that's how it works. So she does the inquiry, but she doesn't get to pick the consequences.
So the party can put pressure on him to be ousted.
Yes, the public can also.
The public can put pressure on their MPs, but ultimately it is
down to Boris.
It's down to the government.
For Boris to do the right thing and step down eventually.
But why is the right thing for him to step down? So we can put our faith in another leader?
Yeah, because he's completely betrayed the trust of the public. So vote
but
of no confidence.
Hasn't Keir Starmer, the leader of the opposition, hasn't he been caught doing the same thing?
No. There's been not yet anyway. I mean, who knows if he has.
I thought I heard that on the radio this morning.
So basically, there was a video of him. He was at a charity event and someone gave him a beer.
Oh. Okay.
Which is like, it was a photo opportunity.
Do you care? Do you actually care?
About Boris?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Why?
Yes, I do. Because I remember how I was feeling in those lockdowns and how a lot of people around the world were feeling during those lockdowns and people losing their loved ones. And we thought they were, for once, were on our side. Or maybe were going to be on our side. Mm-hmm. It was an opportunity to unite the country for a better good. And they were laughing behind our backs.
And that's why you have a problem with it?
That's why I have a problem with it. People were dying, Viraj. People couldn't see their loved ones who were dying in hospital Meanwhile, they were having Friday wine nights. Do you know how disgusting that is?
That is horrible. That bit, I'm a little bit peeved off about.
It's very sad.
But what life is life, and this is still going to go on. How long will this investigation last?
I'm not sure, but what people don't appreciate is if you consistently barrage public trust in politics, then democracy falls apart. Because if we trust in politicians is already low, right? And especially in this country, this doesn't help.
So what do we need to do going forward?
You need a leader who we can trust.
Okay, so who's next to step up? There is Priti Patel.
Oh,
There
God,
is
no.
Rishi Sunak.
God, no.
In the Tory party.
Pick your poison.
On Labour's side,
You got Mr. Keir Starmer.
Mr. Keir Starmer. Who else?
Well, he's the leader of the Labour Party.
Well,
so
who
it
else
would
is
be
in the
him.
Labour Party? If they oust him for this beer, who
I
else
don't
is
know.
there?
I don't know who they would have other than him because they kind of run out of options. But Keir Starmer is the leader of and he has quite at the moment. The Labour Party seem internally quite happy with him. He's a lot more of a central left than what Jeremy Corbyn was. And by the way, right, going back to Jeremy Corbyn, yeah, for ages people were saying Jeremy Corbyn is unelectable. Well, what about now? What was so great about Uncle Boris? That
Absolutely
happy guy
nothing,
who would stand in front of the camera and give you guys a little giggle. He seemed like he didn't have a care in the world. He played you. He was playing the game all along, right? Fear
Boris
the fool.
went to one of the best schools in the UK, right? He is a well-educated individual. This man did not get into the highest office of UK government without doing some thinking and planning. Boris the buffoon was an image that allowed you in, that brought you into his psyche, that brought you into his character. Boris as mayor of London, 10 out of 10. That's what London needed there and then. We needed this reinvigoration. He was the man to give us that. I wholeheartedly, I really agree with that.
And also, it's a bit of a banter job
Yes.
that everyone was happy to give him.
Yes, because you want that thing for London. It's cultural.
Charismatic leader. That's why
Yes.
people like Sadiq Khan. He's likable.
Yes. Oh,
People
I
like
think with Sadiq Khan, people on the fence. But conversation for another time.
That's because he's brown. That's why. And people have a
Part of
problem
the
with that.
yeah, it's part of the problem.
People have a problem with that.
And then they can't drive the Mercedes into London. But putting Boris Johnson in as Prime Minister, right? I think everyone should have thought, okay, so it's out in now. Who did you vote for?
I vote Labour.
I voted Tory.
Of course you did.
Have you always voted Labour?
Since I started voting, yeah.
I've always voted Tory.
Why?
Just policies made more sense to me.
Did you actually read them, or is it just kind of tradition?
No, I did read them.
Ugh.
I didn't read them letter by letter. I read the breakdown of
What
their
you know
manifestos.
now about Boris,
No, it's pick your poison on both sides.
would you have changed?
Would I have changed?
From
If
what
I
you know
about
now-
Boris, would I have changed?
Let me ask you another question, right? If you had to just look at Corbyn
Yeah.
and look at Boris Johnson, who at all times has just genuinely seemed like the more decent human being?
Corbyn, hands down.
People say that's not enough reason to vote for someone. I think it's a good bloody start.
Yeah.
I think that should be the bare minimum.
But even if we go to another general election, we're still picking our poison because a lot of people don't like Labour's policies, but they want the Labour individual in the cabinet office, right? But maybe the Tories' policies are better, but they don't want Boris. But they might be. I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying either of them are worse or not. But we're in a position where we're just like, it's a catch-22. What do you want? Or you go completely left field and you pick the Green Party, or you pick the Lib Dems, or we go into a coalition government. But then we're stuck for like 3 years of not doing anything. So what's going to happen? We need a complete overhaul.
I also think the British public is slightly traumatized and numb to lies now.
Yes.
Because there's so much of it. During the last election, Corbyn outed Johnson with paperwork that implies that he was making a deal with US companies to sell off parts of the NHS. And it was in the news for a few days, and then people are so numb and traumatized by all these lies and these shock headlines that it went straight over their heads.
Was that true?
Well, it's damning.
It's damning, but was it true? I think
I'm
I
not
don't.
entirely sure what the
You'd have to
veracity
do
of it
some.
was, but it definitely didn't impact the election as much as it should have done.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that. However, what is the root cause analysis of all of this? It is because we wanted to exit Europe. That is where the lying started. That is where the void of power, where this void of power started. That is in my eyes, that's the genesis point.
You know
Because
yeah.
the Brexit campaign was fueled by Cambridge Analytica. And if you've watched the Facebook, the video on Netflix, whatever it's called, you will see the chaos of data that they used against the British public to win that election.
To micro-target people.
Oh wow, it's phenomenal. Like it's out of this world what they did in terms of manipulating data and using data. But I have some serious concerns with that.
People question the morality of it. Where if there's... And people say, well, isn't this just
Modern day politics.
modern day politics? And I was like, well, okay. Well, what do you want to do about that? Because if we can manipulate people using their personality traits to a high degree of accuracy, like quantifiable.
Oh,
Politicians try to do it all the time by using rules of thumbs and by reading the emotions of the public when they're looking them eye to eye. But if we can quantify people's
numbers now.
personality and their emotionality and then use research, behavioral science research, to micro-target them at every single level of social media, and we can literally direct them from the start of the election all the way to the booth where they vote, that's a problem.
Because then it's not
Because
freedom
then
of thought.
the politician can hold your hand and guide your thought processes all the way until you sign that little piece of paper with your little X and your pencil.
And then it becomes who's got the bigger chest of money.
The capacity to do it.
That's all it is. How much do you want to spend? And then we get into like the American system with the amount of, I don't know if there's millions or it's hundreds of millions, but it's probably close to billions. And most of those elections are won on the powers that you don't see, like big tobacco or whatever the rest of them are.
People say, all right, but how much of an impact are these misinformation campaigns used by politicians having? Well, let me give you an example, right? So when Donald Trump won the US election in 2016, it was such a slim margin, right? Tiny difference between the groups of people who voted for Republicans and Democrats. So a few misinformation campaigns could have had a cascading effect to huge consequences for our way of life and our democracy in the United States. If some of those misinformation campaigns were caught earlier, then the entire election could have been turned on its head, and Trump may have never got into power.
I know our UK system is not the same as the American system. I would really love to see an independent party.
We do have independent parties.
An independent party find their way into government. Not the Tories or the Conservatives or the Lib Dems. Someone left field.
Oh, it's never going to happen.
I know it.
Not anytime soon, anyway.
I don't think it will anytime soon. But after seeing what Trump was able to do, i.e. go from a businessman and get into office, it sparked a massive debate back in whenever it was about could any tech company or any massive corporation leader do the same thing of a private company. And my thought was, is that possible in the UK? Could you run the United Kingdom like a business, and would that be good for the UK? Because at this moment in time, I don't even know what's good and bad for us. Because I've just lost complete interest in politics. On my Leavers book in year 11, I was most likely to be Prime Minister.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's not going so well so far. I haven't really forayed into that space. Would I like to be, and would that be something I'd be interested in later on in life?
I'd vote for you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Vote
it.
for Viraj for Prime Minister. We all have to shave our heads and grow our beards, though.
We don't have to do that.
Yes, we do.
I
For our
find that
leader.
politicians are just, like, politicians in the UK, they're just so out of touch. It's backward to an extent. There is no edginess. There is no... So I'm not saying you have to be Gen Z for God's sake, but at least have some concept of what's going on in our current time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why are we putting these people in government that actually have no idea what's going on? You are born and bred to be a politician. That doesn't mean you are going to be good at running a country.
Yeah. Why do we let people run whole sections of government who don't even have a background
Yes, I find that
in
wild.
that. Like Matt Hancock
What was
as the
his-
health secretary. He did like history or something at university. What?
The decisions that you're making, you should have some understanding at a very
Yeah.
core level of why you're making those decisions. Are they good? Not just be able to consume advice and make a decision quickly. You should have people that are educated in these spaces to help you make those decisions, to aid you to make those decisions. It's like you've got mini CEOs that actually don't have a degree in anything.
Yeah.
Who knew? How do you know that Matt Hancock was good at making decisions? You don't.
You don't, and
I
he clearly
don't know.
wasn't.
Obviously.
Yeah.
How do you know that Boris was good at making decisions? You don't. I mean, off his track record as mayor of London, you could have been like, yeah, it would have been interesting, but we got played. So I would want to see individuals in the international relations, in education ministers, in infrastructure, whatever it is, right? I would want to see people from those backgrounds actually get positions. Like, I think Rishi Sunak has a degree in something mathematical or finance based, which gives him the ability to run as Chancellor of the Exchequer or run the Chancellor of the Exchequer role.
It also gives him an idea of how people in that space think.
Yes. I'm going to check.
Like the CEO of Microsoft doesn't have a drama degree.
No, that's not.
And the CEO of Warner Brothers probably doesn't have a physics degree.
The CEO of Warner Bros. Does he even have a degree?
I don't know. I don't know who the CEO of Warner Brothers is. But you get my point. It's not necessarily about just, you have the knowledge of you don't need to have the knowledge of the leading doctor, the leading researchers on vaccines, but you just have some sort of comprehension of how people in that space think and the scientific process.
Okay, what did he do? What is his education?
Who?
Sunak. I don't want to get this wrong and just completely...
He definitely does.
Studied at Oxford.
Yeah.
He studied philosophy, politics, and economics. I will, on that, because I know how difficult a PPE is, I will give him the kudos that he deserves. He then studied an MBA at Stanford in America.
Isn't his wife like one of the richest women on the planet?
No, his father-in-law is.
Nice. What's she do? What's her father-in-law do?
He runs Rishi Sunak father-in-law. There we go. He is head of. He's a billionaire in India.
Nice.
And he runs. I cannot. It's not Investec.
Just wait until some sort of scandal comes out about him and some sort of money laundering or something. Who knows?
Oh, that's why. That's what people say.
Tell you what.
That he's loosening the law so that his father-in-law can make more money in the UK.
Oh, so Rishi Sunak's having a good old time as well with the system.
We don't know. I'm not gonna put that out there and have that run its course now. No one knows if that's happening. At this moment in time, he's acting in good faith until we can be proven guilty. Because he's the next one. If there's a void again, that is who the Conservatives would probably vote in. That's who the public would probably want to vote in.
It's a bit random.
Go on.
But I've been thinking about this today. I'd like to be an LBC presenter one day, you know?
Nick Ferrari at breakfast.
James O'Brien. I like that guy.
I prefer Nick Ferrari.
James O'Brien is an absolute gangster.
No, Nick Ferrari is.
Yeah. He's good as well.
I
like it when people call him, James, mate. Like, what it is, right? It's the immigrants. And James, is it? Why? We want our sovereignty back. What does that mean? It means that we want to be Great Britain. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. Well, you know what? You're not even trying to hear me out. No, go on. If you got a point, you need to articulate properly. No. Thank you for your time. I love it.
It's probably one of the few radio channels in the UK that does that.
It's very satisfying.
It is. I used to listen to it to school, on the way to school, LBC.
I think I'd be a good LBC presenter. I'm saying it. LBC, if you're hiring.
LBC 97.3.
LBC, come on, baby.
Please consider Muhsin Yesilada's application.
Shall I give my case as to why I think I should be an LBC presenter?
Please.
Hi LBC, Muhsin Yesilada here from the Smoke Sessions podcast. I'm a stand-up comedian, but I'm also doing a PhD in psychology specializing in misinformation. So, I have some experience in presenting and articulating myself on the stage and on podcasts and hearing out differing opinions. And I also come from an academic background, which gives me some sort of ability to critically reason and have strong and constructive arguments with people. So why not give your boy a job? Come on, man. Some young, fresh faces. I'm Turkish Cypriot. We'll have a good time. We'll have some hummus. It'll be nice.
Some carrots.
Some carrots. Come on, man. Like, look at all your presenters. Like, all lovely, by the way. But they're a bit older. It'll be nice to get some young people in there. I know how to use TikTok. I can show you guys. I'm sure you know how to use it. But you know what I mean? Some fresh... little bit
What's the clicking?
I don't know what this is, but that's what we want. A little bit of fun. I'll tell you what, I'll start off. I'll come in a couple of days a week. I'll make the coffees. I was a barista once.
It wasn't a very good one, but go for it, LBC.
Coffees, lattes, cappuccinos, quartanos.
Cortados.
Shut your mouth. I'm trying to get a job here. Clip that up and I'll send it to him.
I will clip that up. No, I won't forget sending it to them. We're going to make it viral, mate.
Yeah.
I like this podcasting platform. I like this show platform.
I'd love a job at LBC. It's got in my head now. But can it be like, can I do like the afternoon so I don't have to wake up early? I don't want to do 4 a.m, man. That's the graveyard. To listen to
No, that's the best shift.
Why?
Nick Ferrari at breakfast is hands down the best shift.
What time does he have to start work?
I have absolutely no idea. All I know is I used to wake up and he'd be on. And I'd wake up at like 5:30.
You know who has the best shift?
Who?
James O'Brien, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Perfect. You're up at 7.
That's not a bad one.
You're up at 7. You're finished with work by 2. You have the rest of the day to do what you need to do.
Why do you want to do LBC? Why can't it be smoke sessions?
I'll do both.
Okay.
If I do 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., I can do both. James O'Brien does podcasts.
I find that really weird.
Why?
When radio presenters go and do podcasts.
Can't get enough, can they?
Yeah. It's like you must love the sound of your own voice.
But yeah.
You do, don't you? You love the sound of your own voice.
I don't actually. I
You
find it a
don't?
little bit cringe sometimes.
So do you ever listen to this back and...
I never listen to this podcast. Why would I? Why would I listen to this podcast? I was there for every single one.
I listen to this podcast too much for my own good.
I'll tell you one thing, though. I've never listened to this podcast, but I've never missed an episode.
I do watch our reels and our TikToks and our shorts when you can put them out.
I don't like shorts.
Please.
I don't like them, Viraj. I don't like them. They're terrible.
Just upload
They don't
it.
even make sense.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
Listen.
And I don't like how it looks on our feed.
Don't worry about that.
It just crowds out
Don't
everything.
worry about that, sweetheart. Don't worry about that.
I'm not a fan.
We can get more hits.
Probably not, though. They get like 2 hits.
No.
You can't. Where'd you put the hashtags? No one knows.
I will do the hashtags.
Where'd you put them, Viraj?
You put them in the metadata, which is in YouTube Studio. I have access to that.
Why have they made it so complicated?
I don't know.
Everyone else can do it properly. TikTok does it properly.
Because it's not YouTube's primary interest.
Twitter does it properly, kind of. A little bit. Have you gone on...
Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
I have.
It's just racism.
It's a little bit of everything. It's like Clubhouse early days, but there are some interesting conversations.
Twitter Spaces is just people talking about aliens and NFTs.
Yeah, a lot of it is that.
And every now and then someone shouts, COVID's not real!
Why don't you do a Twitter space on misinformation? Yesilada's misinformation.
I have the biggest misinformation club on Clubhouse. And I didn't even try.
How many people?
300-400 people.
Really?
Yeah.
It should be bigger.
Well, I never make it any. I made like 6 rooms. And then I couldn't be asked anymore because we all retired from
Why
Clubhouse.
don't you just hand over ownership to someone else?
Going onto Clubhouse is kind of eerie. It's like
There are a lot of people using it.
Yeah,
There
but
are
it's
a
kind
lot
of
of
like
people using
your old stomping ground.
Yeah.
It's like visiting your old school and it's changed a little bit.
It feels a little bit interesting. It feels a little bit weird. I won't be going back on Clubhouse. I don't like it.
You got me into it.
Yeah, I know. I just don't like the format anymore. Thought it was cool for a while. It served a great purpose, but
When you told me about it for the first time, it took me a second to get my head around it. I was like, you do what?
just talk, listen.
Why would I want to go speak to strangers around the world?
My name is Viraj, and I'm out.
My name is Muhsin, and I'm done speaking.
That's it.
You know when people used to say, and I'm complete. Oh, shut
I
up.
never got that.
Get
I
in
never
the
heard
bin.
that.
I heard someone say, my name is whatever, probably Ocean, and I'm complete.
What?
What do you mean?
Who? I'm complete.
Yeah, people say I'm complete.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was awful.
I've never heard I'm complete. I'm done speaking. I'm finished. I'm out.
What would people say
And then the double. You had to like spam your microphone
Oh, to clap.
to clap.
That was cringe. Oh, I agree.
They didn't think of that.
I agree. What did people say when they just wanted to continue off what someone else just said? There was like a little, like office.
Oh,
term.
can I jump on the back of that?
Just on the back of? Oh, shut up!
Can I continue that conversation?
Oh God, what a time!
What a time to be.
I did enjoy our UK creative rooms though.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah,
It turned into a lot of like emotional stories.
that was good fun.
It was.
Yeah.
Made some good friends.
Yeah, good times. Oh mate, are we close?
No.
Where are we?
Your clock's off. We're on 40 minutes.
We're on 40 minutes. All right.
What else do we have?
We detracted from the topics. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson are apparently going to fight. What is going on, and are we in a simulation? Why? Why?
I would.
49 million pounds. But why? Who asked for this?
I stood up for Jake Paul. I will stand up for Jake Paul.
Yeah.
But
Mike Tyson's going to rip his head off.
Mike should win this one.
I don't care how old Mike Tyson is. He is knocking out Jake Paul.
Based off of Mike's last fight against...
Roy Jones Jr. He's still got a bit in the tank.
Still got a little bit.
Mike Tyson...
He is a different person, though. He's not the old Mike. He's not the Mike of old.
Jake Paul will have his jaw spun.
If Mike lands.
He will land. I don't care how old Mike is, right? Mike could be in a wheelchair. He'll still beat Jake Paul.
No, listen.
Yes.
No, listen.
Yes.
No.
Mike Tyson is going to spin his jaw inside 2 rounds.
There is a little bit of you that is still holding on to Mike is one of the greatest boxers ever.
Because what I saw...
He is not the Mike of old.
What I saw against Roy Jones Jr. is sufficient to beat up Jake Paul. Is more than sufficient.
If we
and he's not the Mike of old, you're right.
If we draw this out, when does this fight get booked?
When or where?
When? In what year and what month do you think that they can bring this all together?
Summer. It'll be a summer fight, I reckon.
So summer 2022.
Yes.
Gives each of them circa 6 months, 5 months of training to get to that point.
Yeah. There is nothing he can do. Oh man. All right.
It's wild. I'm with Mike. I'm fully behind you on this, yeah? Although there may be a little bit of nostalgia creeping in.
I'm going to ask you questions and answer out of instinct as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Can Jake Paul drop Mike Tyson?
No.
Okay, good. Because he can't. Do you know why?
Technically, yes.
Betting against Jake Paul isn't just because I'm just betting against Jake Paul. I need to bet against Jake Paul because if Jake Paul wins, it ruins everything I've ever believed in.
And this is where your world is going to implode if you win.
If Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, I'm not even sure if we have a sport anymore.
Why?
Because it's wrong.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
On every ground.
Why?
A guy who has just entered the sport in 2 years, has had no background in the sport, has no business.
You know what you sound like? You sound like one of those boxing
No.
oldies.
No.
You do.
No,
This is
no,
what
no,
you
no,
sound
no,
like.
no,
Why
no,
are
no.
Why are you like this?
Hang on. A guy who's been boxing for 2 years has no business beating Mike Tyson.
Okay, but he's leveraged his way into the fight.
I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying, God forbid he wins.
So what's going to happen? Your life will go on. Your life will go on. You will just look at boxing in a completely different light.
My life will go on, but this is the difference between you and I. You like boxing. I love boxing. Do you understand? This affects my worldview and how I see the world greatly if someone like Jake Paul can beat Mike Tyson. everything I believe in terms of the sport and how it works
Yeah.
and its purity as an effective way to defend yourself gets ragdolled into
But
question.
why? Because Jake Paul is upholding boxing's values.
If Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson within 2 years of boxing, right, and makes a mockery of it,
It won't be a mockery.
it would be a mockery. If Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, it's a mockery of boxing. Listen to what we're saying, Viraj.
No.
The world is so crazy, you can't even hear what I'm
Why?
saying.
No,
if
you
Jake
take- if you
Paul
take-
beats Mike Tyson, hear
Listen to me.
that.
Okay, who is in the same weight class as Mike Tyson that is a professional, like Jake Paul is a professional boxer, that is a real boxer in your eyes?
Anthony Joshua.
Is in the same weight class?
Yes, heavyweight.
Okay, yeah, but he's a freakish heavyweight.
Right.
I know he's a heavyweight. Can we go down to cruiserweight?
Lawrence Okoli, current world champion.
Okay. Can he beat Mike Tyson?
Yes.
Can any of the top 10 current boxers at cruiserweight beat Mike Tyson?
Yes, they all can. Because being the top 10 cruiserweight in the world is bloody hard.
Okay. So you're saying
'Cause-
that at what point in the numbers, in the rankings, does Mike win a fight against a cruiserweight?
Okay. What I'm going to say to you is this, right? And this is what a lot of people don't understand. Just because Jake Paul is a professional boxer doesn't mean he's a professional boxer.
I'm aware of that.
Anyone can have a license.
Yes.
You can sign up and get a professional boxing license and get your jaw spun for a living tomorrow, right? Just
So
because-
at what point at what point does he become a professional boxer
when his
to you?
when his skill set reflects the level he's speaking about within himself. So the level he's saying he's at and what he can get to, there is no evidence in his current skill set that he's at that level or can get to that level.
You know, just by us having this conversation, he's won.
Yes, no, absolutely. And by the way, I'm not knocking Jake Paul for doing what he needs to do. I find it quite entertaining.
It is.
I'm just thinking the worst case scenario, he somehow beats Mike Tyson. That's a huge problem. I'm playing. He's not going to, by the way. But I'm just saying, it's not a good look for boxing.
I will be so happy if he does, just to see your face and what happens.
I'll tell you what, if Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, we're not doing this podcast for a month. Because I'm going to need a break.
No, mate, I'm coming the day of.
No. You'll be speaking to my mum.
We'll live stream it. We can live stream it. That's actually a great idea. Let's do that. Muhsin, if this fight ends the way you say it's going to end, what happens
I'd
then?
love to see Jake Paul get knocked out.
You just don't like...
But, sorry to keep interrupting you, but because I've got a bit of a passionate rant. I want to see Jake Paul get knocked out, but that's great for Jake Paul's business.
Yes.
Because that's why most people tune in.
Yes.
They want. It's the same reason people tune in to see Floyd Mayweather. Everyone wanted to see him lose, and we never saw it.
Okay, so he's fighting an exhibition fight in Abu Dhabi? No, Dubai. Against
Apparently, yeah.
whoever he's fighting against. Let's
Yeah.
say it's this kid, Money Kicks, or whatever it is,
Is this actually happening?
supposedly.
Right.
What do you think of that?
It's just Floyd having a bit of fun, sparring people.
But this isn't Mike having a bit of fun.
They're in very different phases of their lives. By the way, if Logan Paul had destroyed Floyd Mayweather, that would have been a huge issue as well.
Who won that fight?
I mean, Logan barely landed a glove on him. He was just punching his... I don't think he landed any properly clean shots that you can go back and say, yeah,
And it was an exhibition fight.
it was an exhibition. There was no winners, but it was clear as day
Okay.
who won that fight.
Interesting. So who won that fight?
Floyd Mayweather, clear as day, clear as day. It was very... Don't watch it.
There were certain
Dreadful.
people that suggest the opposite.
Yeah, Jake Paul would suggest the opposite. And you know why that is? Because he
Why?
happens to be of a similar sperm cell to one of the competitors.
There is probably a number of others. So is an exhibition match...
Only
hold
idiots.
On. Is an exhibition match scored or not?
They can be. They're just, I don't know, I guess.
You
if
hate this
want.
conversation, don't you?
Jake, you're doing a good job, mate.
You are.
Right?
You genuinely
But
are.
you're not going to beat Canelo. You're not going to beat Mike Tyson. You're not going to beat anyone. You wouldn't even beat a top 10 middleweight in the UFC. or light heavyweight. If Jake Paul were fighting UFC fighters of his weight class,
Kamaru.
he would be he's not even Kamaru.
Kamaru's what?
170.
Oh,
Jake
yeah.
Paul weighs 205 pounds.
Adesanya.
Do you know who Jake Paul would be fighting? John Jones.
Light heavyweight.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Daniel Cormier.
Oh my god.
Israel Adesanya. Jan Blachowicz. Glover Teixeira.
Okay.
That scary Polish guy who elbows people in the jaw.
Yeah.
Those are the people. If we were fighting people just of the same weight as him.
But it's not boxing.
Oh yeah, he's not beating John Jones in a boxing match. He's not beating Israel Adesanya in a boxing match.
Israel
either.
Adesanya? No.
He's not beating John Jones in a boxing match either.
Is John Jones good at boxing?
He's good enough to beat.
You think so?
Yeah, he's massive. He's 6'4". Jake Paul is too heavy for his frame. He's 6'2",
Yeah.
but
He's 2'1" for his frame.
Yeah, he's too big. That's why, because he's not a boxer.
So if he was boxing as if he was boxing full time,
He would be fighting cruiserweight Alexander Usyk.
okay, that's kind of
Lawrence Okoli.
That is kind of mad.
He'd be fighting people like Lawrence Okoli. Do you know how big Lawrence Okoli is, Viraj?
How big is Lawrence?
Well, actually, he'd probably cut down to light heavyweight, actually. If he had any sense about him, he'd cut down to light heavyweight. He could make that.
So cruiserweight sits between light heavyweight and
Heavyweight, yeah. So he would be fighting people like Beterbiev, Animal. He'd be fighting people like Joshua Buatsi, Animal. Dmitry Bivol, Animal. Anthony Yard, Animal.
okay. So let's have this conversation around. He called out Masvidal. How is that even legal?
Masvidal beats him up.
How is that legal? But Masvidal is how much shorter than him?
Yeah, but Masvidal's a very good boxer.
He is.
Yeah, he's got very good hands. Masvidal beats him up. Not John Jones. Jake Paul has made a career of beating up retired mixed martial artists who are 2 weight divisions or sometimes 3 weight divisions
Tyron Woodley
under him.
is an animal.
Tyron Woodley has never been known for his boxing. He's a wrestler.
Okay, but Tyron Woodley is an animal who has boxed in a MMA ring.
Yeah, he's used his hands in an MMA ring, but a badminton player uses a racket. He's not gonna do very well in tennis, is he?
I would think that if you played badminton professionally, you would have a natural talent for tennis.
Viraj, I'm really good at table tennis. I'm shit at tennis.
Really?
They're 2 different sports. Okay. I'm awful at it. But I'm muddy at table tennis. It wouldn't even be competitive, genuinely.
I know you were leagued and all of that, but
Ranked.
I could give you a rank for your money.
No, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd get past the serve, genuinely.
Is there a table tennis court nearby?
Yeah, there is a place, actually.
Right, we're going to do this at some point.
Yeah.
You really think? I think I can hold my own.
How do you return... Let's say I put side spin on my serve.
Yeah.
Right, and play it short. How would you get it? How would you return it?
Backhand. Extend.
Why your backhand? No, but what motion would you use?
I need to get back in the game. I haven't played table tennis
What
in a while.
motion would you use to
Listen,
get that ball over the net?
I don't know.
Right? Because if you go like that, guess where it's going to go? There.
So you pull back.
How do you hold a table tennis bat? No.
I hold it in this format.
That's not how you hold a table tennis
And I
bat.
also hold it in this format.
Correct.
I hold it in both. I can do both, mate.
You can do pen hold, which is like this.
Yeah, that.
Oh, maybe it's just the angle of
It's just
looking at
the
your hand. Right, yeah.
Whatever it is, right? I can do both. I can play both.
Yeah, I'm going to batter you. I used to be... When I was a kid...
I
right,
don't know. I don't think I could beat Muhsin as a kid from what you said. But I can maybe have a run for my money now.
No, but when I was a kid... right?
What?
No,
What?
impossible.
Hold on a minute, mate.
Impossible.
So you're saying that the list of things... This is absurd. You could outrun me.
Maybe not.
You could
That's a
outsprint
joke.
me. You could
No. The running is a joke, by the way.
You think you could beat me long distance?
No,
You could beat me on a cycle?
Hang on. You know the running stuff?
Yeah.
I'm a terrible runner.
Okay.
That's always been a joke.
Could you stay on a bike longer than me?
No, I hate cycling.
You could beat me in a boxing match.
I'll probably get manslaughter.
And you can beat me in table tennis.
Destroy you.
Snooker or pool?
Pool, possibly. Not really. I don't know. Are you good at pool?
I used to play for like 7 years straight.
I used to have a table here. I used to play a lot.
You still have a table here?
I used to. My cousin broke it. But
We had a full-size table at boarding school.
yeah, but no, you probably beat me at pool.
One in the bag, mate.
What else do you think you can beat me at?
What's the list?
Definitely better than you at football.
Nah. I think I could hold my own against you in football.
Really?
Just pure speed.
What speed?
I could.
No one has
100%,
ever-
I could out-sprint you with a ball. And you just wouldn't get close. So it's okay.
Have you ever played for a team?
Yeah.
What team?
Dead
Nah,
ass.
you're lying. You're lying.
Year 2.
Listen, mate. Woodson Park United under 13s. We went the whole season undefeated. Right? In the Mid-Hearts Rural Miners League Division 2. We smashed it.
Basketball?
I play for my school team, but
I could beat you in basketball for sure.
you good?
Just on the height advantage. I've seen you try and run. I could beat you in basketball.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
What else we got? Times tables?
Times tables.
Yeah, I could beat you with times tables.
6 times 7.
42. You use the same one every time.
Yeah, I love 6 times 7.
Why?
I don't know.
Ugh. Muhsin Yesilada. Muhsin Yesilada.
What else? I like this game.
What else could I beat you at?
You'd beat me in a being bald contest.
Yep, facts.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm slicker than you.
Slicker?
Slicker.
In what sense?
Just in the conversational sense. I find myself at a weird kind of... I look at you and I'm like, this guy is just a very suave individual. Or can
Oh,
be.
thank you, mate. I guess.
Not for like picking up women or just moving his way through a room. You're surprisingly good at that without thinking that you're good at it.
People like me. It's the old charm, Viraj. Give him a little wink.
Yeah.
People want to be around Moo. Hear that, LBC? He's a good little boy. Yes, you are. Mummy and
I
Daddy
don't know
love
what
you.
else. I don't know what else.
I would destroy you at... Tell you what you would destroy me at. Go-karting. Easy. Go-karting track.
Horrible go-karting.
You'd destroy me. You have way more knowledge than I do.
You pick up you end up picking up go-karting quite quickly.
Laser Quest.
No, I'm terrible.
I'd
Terrible.
batter you.
Terrible. I'd beat you at rock climbing.
Laser Quest, I'd batter you. I'm from the Middle East, so we naturally know how to... Yeah. Rock climbing, yeah, you'd probably batter me. I'm
100%.
scared of heights.
Are you?
yeah. Swimming, you'd probably beat me. Are you a good swimmer?
I haven't swum for a very long time, so
Are you a strong swimmer?
I don't know. I don't know what the scale is.
I think your body shape is probably better for swimming than mine.
Do
I
you
would
just sink.
beat you at...
Come on,
Who has a higher IQ? That'd be interesting.
you.
Do you think?
Yep.
I don't think so.
I think you would
Actually,
have
probably.
you would have a
I'm
higher
joking.
IQ, but I think IQ is a
Maybe.
poor base of who is smarter.
Potentially. I've read some research on this. Anyway, I can't remember, so I'm not going to pretend. Okay. Thank you for,
Okay,
thank you for your
Siri.
time.
Whoa,
Working
she's
on that.
she's on it. She's on
Siri,
something.
shut the fuck up. We're doing a podcast.
Do you want to wrap this up?
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection.
Can you
Please
tell-
try again in a moment.
Can you tell your girl to be quiet?
Hey Siri, shut down.
Don't shut your computer. You need it.
No, it's just Siri.
Oh. All right, wrap this up, Viraj. Let's go home.
No, you wrap it up.
Oh, right. Guys, thank you for coming to another episode of the Smoke Session podcast. We've been the Smoke Session boys, and we've had a nice time. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Viraj is bored. I'm going to be bored eventually, and we're going to go to Turkey. Goodbye.
We're on all available platforms.
All of them.
Just type in Smoke Sessions. Have
Type
a good
it
time.
in.